in this video, I'm going to present the single mindset shift that took a coaching offer from 15K to 60K a month. And this is the full breakdown. So a very good friend of mine, Geronimo, I've known him for a couple of years now. Basically, this is going to be the exact story on the steps we took to get him to 60K a month in revenue. So what was actually happening beforehand? So beforehand, he had inconsistent quality leads, which meant that, he did keep getting leads, but they were not always the highest quality. He was struggling to charge high ticket. Before, he used to have what's called a low ticket program for, $40 a month, $100 a month. And he was running ads that flop with no idea why. This was actually the first info product he ran. Before that, he actually had a marketing agency. And after I actually started working with him, we had a lower volume of high quality ICP leads. We were charging minimum 2 to 5K for a B2C offer. So essentially, we were getting more people through the door that were less volume of people, but more ICP leads in general. And we were able to charge between 2 and 5K for a B2C offer. And we were running ads that get a minimum of a 10x rise with full clarity on what, with every single tracking system in place. As we can see, this used to be my old tracking system. This was version 1 of Node. Essentially, this used to be the system that we ran back in November of 2025 on Airtable. Now we actually use Node to track every single metric. So he did actually have a free community program, basically where he had 4,000 members, and the paid version had between 250 and 300 members that were active. And the pricing was between $39 and $97 a month, depending on a few different things. He was working 8 hours every single day, making 10 to 15K a month if he was lucky. And he couldn't step away from the business. He couldn't do any of that because he needed such a high volume of clients. And his goal was to hit 50K a month. He needed at least 1.5 thousand members, what would be simply unmanageable unless the fulfillment is automated, which it wasn't. So, essentially since I started working with him, basically he started to run ads for his low ticket. He used to get like a 7x rise, which was good for low ticket, but bad for what we usually get in high ticket. So 7x rise was the peak, like that would be if he was lucky. He used to have ad creatives and the copy was spot on, regardless of how good the ads actually were. They hit a ceiling on where the spend was going towards, because the low ticket program plus the Instagram profile would simply not convert as well, because every single client was $50, $100. They were way easier to sign, don't get me wrong, but it was just impossible to scale. And the attention was never the issue. Like, he was getting 3 million views, 1 million views on TikTok, everywhere. He was getting a bunch of attention, a bunch of people through the door, but they were never actually the quality that was needed to be able to charge high ticket, or so we thought. So it wasn't as identifying the bottleneck, since he had plenty of viral videos and followers, but he had a lot of great case studies as well on the low ticket, and he knew exactly what he was doing. But on the surface, it looks 100% fine, but realistically, you can't scale past the 15K mark unless you've got an automated fulfillment process, which we didn't. So what were the fixes that we made? So we actually started curating a proper organic brand plus tracking, which is what actually fixed it. Instead of leaving with an offer-led brand, where essentially everything is based on the offer and what you sell, we actually lend with brand-led. So what that actually means, in what I like to call it, is essentially offer-led is people that buy because of your offer, and the brand-led is basically people that buy because you are selling the offer, not because of the offer itself. And on our first one-on-one call together, it was a strategy call. Essentially, I started working with Geronimo as an AI developer. That was what I used to do. And basically, the big thing that was getting in the way of scaling him wasn't that he couldn't charge more. In his mind, he doubted, which was the big keyword, he doubted anyone would pay him 2.5K plus for his offer. Just completely wrong. Because when you've got the right ICP, the right positioning, the right messaging, you can charge whatever you want if you've got the results to back it up. And you truly know that you can get good results for those clients and you don't doubt it. So the mindset shift was, I asked him this exact question. Do you think the version of you making 50K a month, living the lifestyle you want, traveling the world, flying out to meet your students, do you think that guy is charging $39 a month or $100 a month to serve everyone? Or is he charging at least 2K, which is still super cheap, working with fewer, higher quality people and getting absolutely killer results? So that was the question I asked him, and we actually had a very big one-on-one session with my business partner, Omar, to actually dial in the mindset, because the mindset at the end of the day is what creates 90% of the results. If your mindset is dialed, you just need to put in the work because you already know exactly what you need to do. So you just need to ask yourself, would that version of me do that? Would that version of me be doing what my current version is doing? If not, don't do it. If yes, keep doing it. It's as simple as that. And it's having a mindset that truly believes that what people are paying you for can truly help them. If not, you're never going to actually make any money online. And you're just going to end up being stuck. If you truly believe in the bottom of your heart that you can help someone if they pay you 5, 10K and that price is heavily justified and is worth it, then there's no issues at all. But if you keep doubting that, that 2K, that 4K price point is just too much, you're never going to scale. So the order matters at the end of the day. So, you need to really have conviction in your offer, which is one of the most important parts. Like, you're never going to scale unless you don't have true conviction. And it's 101% what matters. The internal always reflects on the external. What's happening in your business internally will always reflect to the external. You shouldn't be raising the prices, launch ads, you shouldn't be posting more content and then wait for the belief and the confidence to catch up. Because it never works like that. You need to internally have those beliefs and have that confidence, and you need to be the person who wants to achieve what you want, and you need to be able to justify that price point. And then you can raise the prices, launch the ads, post that content, and have all of that. So what's the actual math behind charging high ticket and why this actually ended up working? Well, with the earlier price point, the top line, 243 clients that were paying $57 a month, it was kind of between, the lowest it was at is $35 a month, then it got up to $100 a month, and then it was kind of in between. But the top line you can make with 243 clients, by the way, is 14K a month, top line. That is revenue, not even profit. So you're never going to scale. Whereas if you have a 6K for 3 months, 25 clients will get you 50K a month. And it can be way higher than that. So at the end of the day, charging more high ticket is going to be way easier to scale. Even though you're going to have to be doing more fulfillment at the end of the day, more one-on-one, this is what's going to get you to scale. So with high ticket, you can guarantee killer results for 25 people, unlike 240 plus, unless it's a course. But let's be honest, just courses that are just videos, they're never really the answer. And you build a real high quality relationships over time. And that basically has many benefits. You have a higher LTV, you can go on events, retreats, masterminds, and you can have long-term partnerships as well. But this is the belief that many people have, which is my audience can't afford that. And that is complete bullshit, because there isn't market pocket inside that audience that can afford it. And this is the importance of branding and organic. See, none of this would actually matter if the branding and organic didn't apply to it. For example, a 3 million view video that targets kids is never going to convert into high ticket clients. Whereas, for example, a 10,000 view video targeting billionaires is going to make you rich. You just need one person. You don't need a million, you don't need anything like that. You just need qualified people to view you. And 3 million views got 0 qualified bookings, 0 clients, 0 cash. And the old content was bringing in 15K a month. Whereas the new content, it has the potential to hit 50K a month plus in cash collected, like we said, 60K in revenue within 3 months. And with Node, which is my custom software, basically the whole point of it is that we also took all of this onboarding form data, sales call data, and client form data to constantly have the most accurate ICP to resonate on the personal brand and the business level. So every single sales call that was ever taken in the business, every single onboarding form that was submitted, every single post-call form that was submitted by the closer was sent to Node. And from that, we were able to accurately, week by week, create a new ICP, which is exactly what we want, because the ICP always changes. Their beliefs might change, an objection that they might have constantly changes. So it's very crucial that you actually keep updating your ICP. And Node is super important. You need to constantly be tracking your data. And the hard truth. So not going to pretend it was easy to do. It was actually very difficult, because it really wasn't. Only 2-3 people from the actual community actually went to the high ticket, and a lot did leave the low ticket because he had launched a high ticket program, Agency Ascension. And client acquisition was harder, booking rates did drop, and so did views. But it did filter out a lot of the noise and started going for quality and not quantity. But, that's business at the end of the day. There are highs, there are lows. What matters most is where you're headed long term, which is why we have instilled long-term thinking to every single thing he does. So who does this actually apply to? So if you have a genuine info and coaching program with real value is really important. If you have real client results and case studies, and you are willing to make that internal change to allow you to scale to 20, 50 and 100K per month plus. These are essentially the simple steps that we took to be able to scale Geronimo to 60K per month revenue, and now we're on track to hit 100K a month cash collected within this year. And if you want something built like this for your coaching program, make sure to click the first link in the description, and I can show you exactly how Node will be able to automatically track every single part of your business, everything from marketing, sales and fulfillment, and even we can potentially help you one-on-one to scale your own coaching program past the 20, 30, even 40K per month mark. And if you're already at that mark, to the 100K per month plus mark at the end of the day, because it's all about understanding your data and making changes based on that data, not the other way around.